Om. 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavaतीतं Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev.
जय गुरुदेव। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः भक्ति योगः। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधस्त्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मध्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षशुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः क्षम्यताम् ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः
श्रद्धधाना मत्परमा
श्रद्धाना मत्परमा श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तीव मे प्रियाः ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः ओम तत्सत् अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगः अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशवः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु So, Brahmanaji, where were we yesterday? Can somebody guide? Did we complete?
Yeah, Jai Gurudev Belaji, we'll do today verse number 10. Abhyase pya samarthosi.
Anybody has done the revision, I mean the Gruhabhyasa? Anybody has done? Anybody ready with the 10th verse?
I read it, Belaji, but I think it is like there are so many ways in which Bhagwan says that you can do this and this. So it would be better if I think
Yeah,
we
you can
can
just
read it
first read
Yeah.
the shloka and tell us the, you can, if you can just, because since you have done already, so I'm sure you can do better justice, Dr. Savita.
No, but this shloka has some part of some verse from chapter 18 also. This is also described, and there are many ways in which it is described how, like, if you cannot meditate, then you can do this, then this, then 2-3 ways are described. So, and I've just gone once, just read it once. So, still clarity still remains. So I don't want
So
to
let's
waste
read the
time.
PDF. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
we'll
go
read
to
the
the PDF
PDF.
and read the PDF.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि. Abhyase even for the practice of this yoga, asamartha chet, if you do not have the capacity, mat karma paramaha, one for whom action dedicated to me is paramount. Bhava, me you become. Api, even karmani kurvan, doing actions. Madartham, for my sake. Siddhim, success. Avapsyasi, you will gain. Abhyase api asamartha asi chet matkarma paramaha bhava. Api karmani kurvan madartham siddhim avapsyasi. Even if you do not have the capacity for the practice of this yoga, may become one for whom action dedicated to me is paramount. Even doing actions for my sake, you will gain success. Suppose even this is not possible, to sit and do anything is almost impossible, then set aside this meditation on Saguna Brahma and do your daily prayers and duties, dedicating them to me. Dedication is nothing but conformity with Dharma, looking upon it as Ishvara. Later, in the 18th chapter, he tells us, Yatah pravrittihi bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha.
Tam abhyarcha.
Tam
Abhyarcha.
abhyarchya.
यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः.
Tam abhyarcha. Worshipping that Lord. Yatah pravrittihi bhutanam. From whom all elements and beings have come. Yena sarvam idam tatam, by whom all this is sustained. Swakarmana, by his own duty. Siddhim vindati manavaha, a man finds success. The entire creation, Jagat, is non-separate from Ishvara. I repeat this meaning of Pratibha. Tam abhyarcha. Worshipping that Lord. Yatah pravrittihi bhutanam, from whom all elements and beings have come. Yena sarvam idam tatam, by whom all this is sustained. Swakarmana, by his own duty. Siddhim vindati manavah, a man finds success. The entire creation, Jagat, is non-separate from Ishvara. With an awareness of this, Swakarmana abhyarcha, worshipping with one's own karma, meaning doing what for at any given time and in any particular situation. There is a breaking of voice, I believe. I will repeat. If it is very often, please let me know. With an awareness of this Swakarmana abhyarcha, worshipping with one's own karma, meaning doing what is called for at any given time and in any particular situation. A particular act of worship is not what is meant here, but the awareness of Ishvara as dharma and conformity to that. By this, he says, Siddhim vindati manavaha, a person gains success. Success here is antahkarana shuddhi, a prepared mind through which one can gain knowledge. The real success is moksha. Therefore, if you cannot meditate, do not condemn yourself. As long as you continue doing what you are doing as a karma yogi, that is enough. You will gain everything. If it is not possible to look upon dharma as Ishvara, in the following verse, the Lord offers another alternative. Perform all your actions, fulfilling your likes and dislikes in conformity with dharma. When the result comes, offer it to me and then take it. This is common practice in India. Even though people may not know what is behind it, they do it. After cooking food, they first offer it to the Lord and then eat. If they build a house, they first offer it to Him and then enter it. Anything new is offered to the Lord. A newborn child is offered to the Lord and therefore becomes prashada, what comes from the Lord. This is something anybody can do. These alternatives are not really very different from one another. The emphasis is just shifted. One thing is clear though, if a person lives a life of karma yoga along with meditation upon Ishvara as Saguna Brahma, he is Yoga Vittama, the best in the sense of nearest to moksha. I repeat the last line. One thing is clear though, if a person lives a life of karma yogi along with meditation upon Ishvara as Saguna Brahma, he is Yoga Vittama, the best in the sense of nearest to moksha. Tatah mam aptum ichha. May you desire to meditate upon me. Aptum means to gain, but in the context, it should be taken as dhyatum, to meditate. Finally, it is a gain. So, translating aptum as to gain is also correct. By meditation and gaining knowledge, may you desire to gain me. I repeat, tatah mam aptum ichha. May you desire to meditate upon me. Aptum means to gain, but in the context, it should be taken as dhyatum, to meditate. Finally, it is a gain. So, translating aptum as to gain is also correct. By meditation and gaining knowledge, may you desire to gain me. If you are not capable of even this practice, abhyase api asamarthah asi, you can live a life of karma yoga. That is good enough. May you become one for whom karma done for me is the ultimate. Mat karma paramo bhava. It is the ultimate in the sense that it is the means that he commits himself to for the antahkarana shuddhi required for jnana. So anyone would like to share? So as a karma yogi, Bhagavan is giving so many alternatives. If you cannot do Ashtanga yoga, then you can continue doing your actions. And in there also, he is giving so much liberty. Even if you do your karma, following your likes and dislikes, it is okay. But keep in mind that they are done dharma, in conformity with dharma. And but when the result comes, offer it to me and take it as a prashad buddhi. And when you do this, you become yoga vittama. If you are
Yoga Vittama here, according to what Bhagavan says, is the Karma Yogi who's doing Upasana on Saguna Brahma. The Karma Yogi that we just read now in this 10th chapter, when he says you're not able to do meditation, you're not able to practice Ashtanga Yoga, in that case, then just be a Kevala Karma Yogi, even that is good. That is good enough. But the Yoga Vittama is the one who is a Karma Yogi plus who meditates, which is why Gurudev says meditation is the key. He goads everybody to meditate. Not enough if you're just being a Karma Yogi. But here in these options, Bhagavan is giving different options. If you're not able to do that, do at least this. So he's kind of yoking us into the path of Karma Yoga, so that at least that will align us into the into developing, cultivating the Antakarna Shuddhi.
okay, yeah. So yoga vittama is gradually through that mam paptum ichha. You gradually take it towards the moksha, right? And then you can gain Parmeshwara. They are yoga vittama. Those who meditate upon Ishvara as Saguna Brahma. Yeah. So ultimately, Antakarana Shuddhi is achieved. Anyone would like to share? What does it mean to perform action for the sake of Ishvara? What does it mean to perform action for the sake of Ishvara? Does Ishvara need your karma like a master needs the services of his servant? The master gives the orders, telling exactly what has to be done, and the servant obliges in return for some payment. Both stand to gain from the transaction. Does the Lord also tell you to do specific things whereby he is going to accomplish something? Does he expect to benefit from your activity? If so, he is not Ishvara. Doing something for the sake of Ishvara cannot be for his benefit, because Bhagwan by definition is Purna, complete. All that one could wish for in absolute manner. He has all that one could wish for in absolute measure. So it is not for his sake. Suppose you do it for your sake, then it is not karma yoga. You become a karmatha. Doing karma for Ishvara's sake is doing it as an expression of your devotion to him. This is Ishwarartham karma. Further, Ishvara is in the form of dharma. Sanatana dharma is a name for the Vedic tradition. This dharma, which is unfolded by the Vedas, is eternal. Sanatana, Sanatanascha asau dharmaha. Here he view Ishvara as the Upadana Karana, recognizing that the very order in the world is Ishvara. I repeat, doing karma for Ishvara's sake is doing it as an expression of your devotion to him. This is Ishwarartham karma. Further, Ishvara is in the form of dharma. Sanatana dharma is the name for the Vedic tradition. This dharma, which is unfolded by the Vedas, is eternal. Sanatana, Sanatanasya asau dharmaha. Here we view Ishvara as the Upadana Karana, recognizing that the very order in the world is Ishvara. Or we can say it is the dharma of the one who is eternal. Sanatanasya dharmaha. In this, Ishvara becomes the Nimitta Karana. Conformity to his order is Ishvararpita karma. I repeat, here we view Ishvara as the Upadana Karana, recognizing that the very order in the world is Ishvara. Or we can say it is the dharma of the one who is eternal. Sanatanasya dharmaha. In this, Ishvara becomes the Nimitta Karana. Conformity to his order is Ishvararpita karma. Either you think I perform this action for the sake of Ishvara, or in conformity to dharma, I am worshipping Ishvara. Both are similar. Thirdly, you can cultivate a certain attitude which comes from recognizing this karma is done by Ishvara, not by me. In that, you deflate your ahankara and attribute the very karma to Ishvara. That is also Madartham karma. Through his vibhuti alone, my legs are able to move, my tongue is able to talk, this mind is able to think. It is all Ishvara. I repeat as there is a breaking of voice. Thirdly, you can cultivate a certain attitude which comes from recognizing this karma is done by Ishvara, not by me. In that, you deflate your ahankara and attribute the very karma to Ishvara. That is also Madartham karma. Through this vibhuti alone, my legs are able to move, my tongue is able to talk, this mind is able to think. It is all Ishvara. My body, senses, and mind are all instruments for Ishvara to play his symphony of life. I repeat this last line. My body, senses, and mind are all instruments for Ishvara to play his symphony of life. One who appreciates this is also Mat Karma Parama. Ishvara has Prakriti under his control, and that Prakriti, which is my nature, is not created by me. It is all Ishvara. The creation and the creator being non-separate, Ishvara in the form of Prakriti does everything. Ishvara as the sun shines. Ishvara as the earth bears life. And so too, Ishvara as the senses, body, mind, etc. does various actions. I perform no action. It reminds me of the shloka that Swashan, Pashyan, I do not remember, that everything is happening. I am not doing or I am not putting any effort. It is happening on its own. The whole order in the creation, in the universe, is Ishvara.
So there are three type of karma described here, no? Ishwarartham karma, Ishvara arpita karma, and Madartham
Mat,
karma.
mat
Madartham.
karma parama.
No, that is the
Madartham
quality.
karma.
That is the
Shamita.
quality.
Yeah.
Three karmas are described: Ishvara artham as Ishvara arpita and Madartham karma.
Yeah. Could you please just explain also, Dr. Savita? First,
Ishwarartham karma is that doing karma for Ishvara's sake, that as an expression of devotion. That is Ishvara artham karma. Then and in that Bhagwan is taken as the upadana karana. Whereas in Ishvara arpita karma, it is like you are doing that karma as like this. I am not very clear, but what I understood is that what your dharma says, you do that karma according to your in conformity with dharma. That is Ishvara arpita karma. And Madartham is that you deflate your ahankara. You think all these activities, my body is given by Ishvara. So you do not take the responsibility of doing anything. You just simply surrender in way that you like your body and your mind, everything, they are just played by Ishvara. You are not doing anything. It is he who is moving your hand, giving you thought. So that is Madartham karma. Yeah.
so beautiful.
Can you just read the Madarpitam, Ishwararpitam karma one more time?
Yeah.
Doing karma from here, Belaji, from doing karma for Ishvara, second paragraph. Yeah.
And can you please explain the Nimitta Karana and Upadan Karana, the difference between that? I have missed few of the classes and I forgot now the meaning of.
You read this, I think it will become clearer if you read once more. Doing karma.
Yeah. So when simple karmatha, he does as a kartru bhavana. And here, doing karma for Ishvara's sake is doing it as an expression of your devotion. This is Ishvara karma.
Actually, the whole point starts from that beautiful example he's given of a master giving instructions to a servant. So there, the master gives instructions and the servant does it. So that is, his servant is doing it for his master. So is it the same way with respect to Ishvara and us? No, because Ishvara is already complete. He is not directing us to do things. He does not need to be satisfied because of our karma, offering it to him. So what does this Ishwararpanam karma mean? Offering every action to Ishvara. I think that stems from there, and then you have these three different categories or different perspectives of the same idea. So what does it mean to offer everything to Ishvara? So one is, like he said, is to do it as as an act of devotion. You understand that everything in creation is nothing but Ishvara. Everything comes out of Ishvara. So keeping that in mind, you recognize that, like that Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. So every act you do, from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed, you recognize Ishvara and you do it as an act of devotion. And then you go to the Ishwararpitam. I think we'll understand better. Yeah. You can read that, Bela, again.
Doing karma for Ishvara's sake is doing it as an expression of your devotion to him. This is Ishwarartham karma. Further, Ishvara is in the form of dharma. Sanatana dharma is a name for the Vedic tradition. This dharma, which is unfolded by the Vedas, is eternal. Sanatana. Sanatanascha asau dharmaha. Here we view Ishvara as the Upadana Karana, recognizing that the very order in the world is Ishvara. Or we can say it is the dharma of the one who is eternal. Sanatanasya dharmaha. Sanatanasya dharmaha. Kshameta. In this, Ishvara becomes the nimitta karana. Conformity to his order in Ishwararpita karma. Either you think I perform this action for the sake of Ishvara, or in conforming to dharma, I am worshipping Ishvara. Both are similar. Thirdly, you can cultivate a certain attitude, which comes from recognizing this karma is done by Ishvara, not by me. In that, you deflate your ahankara and attribute the very karma to Ishvara. That is also Madartham karma. Through his vibhuti alone, my legs are able to move, my tongue is able to talk, this mind is able to think. It is all Ishvara. My body, senses, and mind are all instruments for Ishvara to play his symphony of life. One who appreciates this is also Mat Karma Parama. Ishvara has a Prakriti under his control, and that Prakriti, which is my nature, is not created by me. It is all Ishvara. The creation and the creator being non-separate, Ishvara in the form of Prakriti does everything. Ishvara as the sun shines, Ishvara as the earth bears life, and so too Ishvara as the senses, body, mind, etc. does various actions. I perform no action. Yeah, Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana. I think we have to see the whole creation as per my little understanding, that he is the cause for the whole creation, because Maya is Brahmashraya. So recognizing that fact, that whatever is there in the creation, he is the cause, Nimitta Karana. And Upadana Karana is like whatever is there in the whole creation, that substance which is self-evident is Ishvara. This is my little understanding. Kindly explain further. Parinami upadana karana.
See, upadana karana, nimitta karana. For instance, if you take the example of a pot, clay, and the potter, nimitta karana is the efficient cause. The potter is the nimitta karana. And upadana karana becomes the clay, the material with which the pot is made. So there is an intelligent cause and there is a material cause. So therefore, the potter making use of the clay makes a pot. Whereas with respect to Srishti, with respect to creation, Ishvara is the nimitta karana, he is the intelligent cause. He is also the upadana karana because Maya, which is Ishvara janitam, is the upadana karana, and therefore that he is both the efficient cause as well as the material cause. And out of this is the creation that happens, the visible jagat that we see, visible, invisible, all of that. So in these three aspects, Madartham karma, Ishwarartham karma, you look at Ishvara as the upadana karana, as the cause of everything that is there. So you see Ishvara in everything, in the plants, in the trees, and people around you. So then you do whatever you do, keeping that in mind. But there, you're still that doership is there. As a karma yogi, you still have that doership. The second aspect is the Ishwar Arpitam karma, where you look at him as the efficient cause, as the intelligent cause of creation. He is the dharma, he is the dharmadhyaksha, he is the one who wields dharma. So recognizing that, you perform your actions. The third one is madartham karma, which is you are not doing anything. There you drop even the doership. You don't take ownership for your actions even. Everything is happening. Ishvara is doing everything. If you're able to see, you're able to walk and talk, it is not your greatness. It is because of Ishvara everything is happening.
In that case, you are the pot here, being created by the potter.
Right. So you're in a complete attitude of surrender, so to say, where that even that I bhava is not there.
Yeah, very beautiful. Dhanyavad, Maharaj. Thirdly, you can cultivate a certain attitude which comes from recognizing this karma is done by Ishvara, not by me. In that, you deflate your ahankara and attribute the very karma to Ishvara. That is also Madartham karma. Through his vibhuti alone, my legs are able to move, my tongue is able to talk, this mind is able to think. It is all Ishvara. My body, senses, and mind are all instruments for Ishvara to play his symphony of life. One who appreciates this is also Mat Karma Parama. Ishvara has Prakriti under his control, and that Prakriti, which is my nature, is not created by me. It is all Ishvara. The creation and the creator being non-separate, Ishvara in the form of Prakriti does everything. Ishvara as the sun shines. Ishvara as the earth bears life. And so too, Ishvara as the senses, body, mind, etc. does various actions. I perform no action. All this requires conformity to dharma rather than to raga dvesha. Raga dvesha are rooted in the ahankara, whereas dharma is rooted in Ishvara. Therefore, when you act according to dharma and in contradiction to your raga dvesha, you are suppressing your ego and uniting yourself to Ishvara. This is the worship which we call Karma Yoga. Very beautiful, I repeat. All this requires conformity to dharma rather than to raga dvesha. Raga dvesha are rooted in the ahankara, whereas dharma is rooted in Ishvara. Therefore, when you act according to dharma and in contradiction to your raga dvesha, you are suppressing your ego and uniting yourself to Ishvara. This is the worship which we call Karma Yoga. Though your own likes and dislikes, which are purely centered on yourself, are initially suppressed, in time they are sublimated. Once you have a value for dharma, the raga dveshas get naturally relegated to the background. Then it is not suppression, but success in the form of maturity and elevation of the person. It is suppression only if there is no understanding of dharma and no possibility of expressing raga and dvesha. Suppose a child has a lot of anger and yet the rules in the home prohibit the expression of anger or crying or saying certain things, that child is going to be suppressed. Anger is the product of and pain is due to non-fulfillment of raga dvesha. That is why when you express your anger, there is aftermath of sadness, the basis for the anger. When you obey rules that you do not understand, it amounts to suppression. This is why it is so important to understand the value of values. It amounts to simple maturity. Growing up implies appreciation of dharma. Every day we have to make choices, and if we are confused about what is right and wrong, it is better to be an animal. An animal is not confused, nor does it have any conflict. Maturity in a human being implies the appreciation of dharma. Then there is no suppression, because dharma is rooted in Ishvara. Love for dharma becomes love for Ishvara. That is bhakti. When the action you do is for the sake of Ishvara, who is dharma, not for fulfillment of ragadvesha, you are a mat karma parama. To live a life of karma yoga, you must have an awareness of Ishvara being in the form of dharma. It is a very alert life. Karma yoga is not doing a lot of things. Though a karma yogi may be very active, that is not what makes him a karma yogi. If you go to Wall Street in New York, you will see frantic activity. A broker may be handling 8 phone calls at a time. It is not the amount of activity, but the attitude that makes a person a karma yogi. Though he may be very busy, a karma yogi has no anxiety about what he is doing. He has no fear or conflict and goes about doing what is to be done with an inner relaxation. All that he does is for Ishvara. That is Karma Yoga. The ahankara gets deflated and raga dveshas get neutralized. Anyone wants to share? If dharma is protected, it protects you. Rakshita dharma rakshati tvam. How does dharma protect you? Rakshati means it protects. Not your life, but your sukha, your peace of mind. Protecting merely your longevity is meaningless. What is the point of living 10 more years in distress and causing another 10 years of distress to others as well? With a restless mind, you are not going to radiate Shanti. Even someone who has a degree of Shanti will lose it in the presence of a disturbed person. When dharma is not protected, the ahankara inflates and the raga dveshas become destructive. Because you cannot have your way all the time, you are going to be angry, frustrated, depressed, etc. That ahankara will increase and clash with the surroundings. But if dharma is followed, there is harmony. Whether you are able to conform to dharma or not, the attempt to do so is enough. If the people around you are educated enough to also attempt to conform to dharma with some awareness of what they are doing, you will find there is an atmosphere conducive to everybody's growth. But if everyone's attention is focused on me and mine, growth will be stifled. Individuality has its beauty, but it also creates strong personal raga dveshas, which become so important that we cannot really accommodate anything else. When they are so highly pronounced, they demand to be fulfilled. Yet you cannot have your own way all the time. So there are bound to be conflicts. In a world of individuals, each one wants to have his own way. Unfortunately, what the other person wants is often exactly the opposite of what you want. In this situation, how are you going to fulfill your raga dveshas? It is impossible. And if the ego demands it, what kind of shanti are you going to have? And without shanti, where is the happiness? Ashantasya kutah sukham. Therefore, protecting dharma will protect your sukha and thereby your purushartha, what you want to accomplish. With the protection of dharma, your jnana is also protected. Otherwise, you will be fanning raga dvesha, which can never be satisfied. Like fire, they are called anala because they never say enough. The more you feed them, the more they want. If you cannot meditate, Krishna tells Arjuna, be a karma yogi, performing all actions for the sake of me. Madartham karmani kurvan. You will gain success. Siddhim avapsyasi. What can be the success for a karma yogi? Siddhi means moksha. Here Shankara says it is through the gain of knowledge. Merely performing actions for Ishvara's sake does not ensure Siddhi success. But in performing all actions for Ishvara, your ahankara will be deflated and raga dvesha neutralized. That will bring increased composure and enable you to meditate to gain jnana. Yeah, it's a very, very profound and important explanation by Swamiji. Kindly share your understanding. When you
It is like if you have value for dharma, then or your moral values, then you will give more emphasis on them. Then half of the raga dvesha they don't, you don't have, like, they get neutralized when you give values to uh, the dharma principles which have been laid down. You don't, you it is not that you are suppressing it purposely. They suppress themselves. As Swamiji had written, they are relegated to the background, so they automatically go to the backyard, and you focus on your work according to the dharma, and that solves a lot of problem once you, and that, I think, that comes by the abhyasa. You keep on repetitively training your mind in that way, that, or with an alert mind, to be in that mode. Always try to be in that. I have to do only what the dharma says. Then these raga dvesha will be neutralized, and accordingly the atmosphere will be conducive, as surroundings would be there. There will not be much of clash, and it's like
Progressive.
yeah, progressive. And Swamiji wrote this last para is very this thing on page number 364. If the people around you are educated enough to attempt to conform to dharma with some awareness of what they are doing, you will find there is an atmosphere conducive to everybody's growth. So it is for everyone. If you change your attitude, then it would help others also to grow.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Dr. Savita. So
Yeah.
the first thing, if we have to live a life, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. What is that dharma protects? Is it your longevity? Swamiji asks, what is the use of living 10 years more with a lot of distress and disturbed mind within? So what is it that is protected when you follow dharma is your inner shanti. So beautifully explained by Swamiji. So what is dharma? You as a person, human being, should know what is right and wrong. That inner value, that GPS that is there inside of you should direct you towards right and distinction between right and wrong. If you do not know what is right and wrong, then no better than an animal. If we remember the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, where he talks extensively about what dharma is, it is the universal order. You do to others what you would want them to do to you. Simple explanation of what dharma is. So you don't want others to lie to you, so you don't lie. That is conformity to dharma. You don't want others to hurt you, so you don't hurt others. You don't want others to simply get upset and angry with you, so you again do not do that to others. So when you align your life with the life of dharma, then your inner peace is protected. You are in a state of calm. You don't have fear. You don't have frustration. You're not coming from the space of doing things for ragadvesha. Very beautifully, Swamiji has explained how ragadveshas will be initially, though they may be suppressed, they ultimately will be sublimated. Because if you are living your life not according to dharma, but according to ragadvesha, you will only end up with frustration. Because you're not going to have your way all the time. If you don't have your way all the time, you end up being frustrated. And he also says one person who has shanti will radiate the shanti around him. But one person who's restless will cause the same disharmony outside. So whether or not your situation outside is conducive, you remain in that shanti, you will be able to affect that, influence the environment outside you. So that peace within is peace without. Peace within yourself and then peace in the world. And if the people around you are also conforming to dharma, then it leads to a conducive, harmonious atmosphere. Because no one is working from the standpoint of me and mine, my way or the highway. It is not like that. It is everybody knows values, they're following a value-based living.
Also, the quality of santushta, the six sampat chatushtaya we read, no, six
Sadhana
qualities.
chatushtaya.
Sadhana
Or the
chatushtaya. Sorry. The santushta part is also has a play in this. If you want to neutralize your raga dvesha, if you have that santushti bhava, then also like you are content within. And it is not that you are not doing, not trying to be better or achieve your ambition, but it is that feeling of contentment. If you have, then also you will be working upon that, controlling your raga dvesha. Yeah.
So very beautiful. That is why in Ashirvachanam also they say, no? Tushti, tushti. Can someone in reading? I can continue sharing the screen. Mrinalji, Umaji, or Dr. Mapu, anybody can help me in reading. Hari Om. Okay.
Can I read?
Yeah.
Need 5 minutes. I'm
Okay. Okay.
just
No, I
outside.
can
Yeah.
share the screen. I
Yeah.
can continue sharing the screen. Dr. Savita, are you comfortable reading?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dhanyavad.
Okay. Even by doing karma, for my sake, you will reach me. If you meditate on Akshara Brahma, you will reach me. If you meditate on me and do Karma Yoga, you will reach me. If that is not possible, do Karma Yoga and then also you will reach me. I read again. If you meditate on Akshara Brahma, you will reach me. If you meditate on me and do Karma Yoga, you will reach me. If that is not possible, do Karma Yoga and then also you will reach me. It may seem from this that there are alternate paths for moksha. To dismiss that notion, Shankara uses the word yoga jnana prapti dverana avapsisi. Gaining maturity by karma yoga, through knowledge, you will gain moksha. We must be very clear, there cannot be any accommodation in this. The practice of Ashtanga Yoga is to develop enough composure and concentration to hold an object in one's mind for a length of time. This dharana shakti is the aim of abhyasa. That is, holding an object in one's mind for a length of time. Thereby one can meditate upon the Vishwarupa. So abhyasa is a part of Vishwarupa dhyana, meditation upon the Lord as Saguna Brahma. If even that is not possible, do your action for the sake of Ishvara and you will gain success, Siddhi. Siddhi here is first Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of the mind, which is freedom from the hold of Raga Dvesha. When they are no longer an obstruction for you, you have Antakarana Shuddhi. Since you have no pratibandha, you can gain jnana. Here Shankara points out the dependence of knowledge and meditation upon mental preparedness. So this is the mental preparedness we are reading, how by getting free from raga, dvesha and offering karma, to Ishvara. This is the preparedness so that we can meditate and then gain knowledge. When you are prepared, you have the capacity for dhyana and jnana, and therefore you will gain siddhi, success, which here means moksha. Being a mat karma parama, the one for whom Ishvara arpita karma is most important, is not easy either. For that, you must have an awareness of Ishvara when you perform actions and a capacity to make your own personal likes and dislikes subserve dharma and adharma. Even though you may be able to follow dharma and adharma, you cannot dedicate all karmas to Ishvara when you have personal interests. If you need to fulfill various likes and dislikes for your own security and pleasure, and yet want moksha also, that means preparedness, which is maturity or vairagya, is lacking. When vairagya is inadequate, it is very difficult to dedicate all karma to Ishvara because of self-interest. What shall we do about that? If you find that is not possible, that the raga dvesha themselves control you, don't worry. Bhagwan offers an alternative in the next verse. This is a very
very profound.
very
It
last.
signifies the importance of our daily sadhana, how important it is.
Yeah.
Through Ashtanga Yoga only, we will be able to have that perfect meditation. And importance of Vairagya.
Vairagya, yeah. Because until unless there is not Vairagya, you are holding on to things, your higher motive, like you, that motto of life is not clear. You are
Can you
holding.
just read the last para one more time, Dr. Savita?
Yeah, this is a very profound, like
This is actually giving us that
this.
clarity of how we
Yeah.
should have the thing. The last para, or even before that, yeah.
The practice of Ashtanga Yoga. The practice
Yeah,
of
you can do
Ashtanga
that, yeah.
Yoga. The practice of Ashtanga Yoga is to develop enough composure and concentration to hold an object in one's mind for a length of time. This dharana shakti is the aim of abhyasa. Thereby, one can meditate upon the Vishwarupa. So, abhyasa is a part of Vishwarupa dhyana, meditation upon the Lord as Saguna Brahma. If even that is not possible, do your action for the sake of Ishvara and you will gain success, Siddhi. Siddhi here is first Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of the mind, which is freedom from the hold of Raga Dvesha. When they are no longer an obstruction for you, you have Antakarana Shuddhi. Since you have no pratibandha, you can gain jnana. Here Shankara points out the dependence of knowledge and meditation upon mental preparedness. When you are prepared, you have the capacity for dhyana and jnana, and therefore you will gain siddhi, success, which here means moksha. Being a mat karma parama, the one for whom Ishvara arpita karma is most important, is not easy either. For that, you must have an awareness of Ishvara when you perform actions and a capacity to make your own personal likes and dislikes subserve dharma and adharma. Even though you may be able to follow dharma and adharma, you cannot dedicate all karmas to Ishvara when you have personal interests. If you need to fulfill various likes and dislikes for your own security and pleasure, and yet want moksha also, that means preparedness, which is maturity or vairagya, is lacking.
So
When
this sentence is
vairagya,
very important. Sorry to interrupt. This
yeah,
sentence is so important for us to
yeah,
do the self-appraisal. Are we acting out of conformity to dharma, or is it we're putting this filter of raga dveshas in front, and then we're doing it for our security, for our pleasure?
yeah, and this again culminates to that the homa, the puja, and the astrologer part. You have those. Sometimes you pray for to remove those obstacles from your. So that when you are doing this, that ultimate goal that uh, is again put on the back seat.
Yeah,
So it is
so it actually
again,
gives us even, slowly and slowly the clarity is dawning, wherein at any given time, what is to be done is to be done. That is conforming to dharma. So there, if we can live life with awareness, that is what he said earlier. Living a life of dharma, conforming to dharma, is living an alert life. And in order to live an alert life, you need your mind in the present. I'm reminded of what Mrinal was sharing with respect to what Rishiji was talking of, keeping your mind in the present. So if your mind is caught up in the past or future, you're worried about your future or anxious about what might happen, or you're regretting the past, you're again bringing in your raga dveshas there. So keeping your mind in the moment, you'll be able to be spontaneous and you'll do what is to be done. So all the sadhana that we're doing is not only to bring the mind to the moment, it will also improve your dharana shakti. It will enable you to sit for meditation and have that taila dharavat, that experience. So he in the beginning of this paragraph he talks of the person who does nirguna brahma upasana, akshara brahma upasana will reach me. The karma yogi who does saguna brahma upasana also will reach me. Even if you're not able to do this, even living a life of karma yoga, you will reach me. Does it mean there are three different paths? No. Ultimately, it is only jnana. He is only talking of karma yoga here as an aspect of mental preparedness for the meditation and knowledge to take place. So as long as we have bound by raga dvesha, so when I look at this statement, for me, I'm only looking at myself, self-appraisal. I'm still somewhere quite in the kindergarten level with respect to raga dveshas. So we need to look within and see how many of our actions are in conformity to dharma and not according to our personal likes and dislikes.
it
So
will take
important.
many lifetimes to
Yeah.
get out of raga
No,
dvesha.
isn't that seems to be the crux actually. The crux is to relieve yourself
Disentanglement.
of the raga dvesha. Only then will any other spiritual pursuit, whether it is meditation, upasana, or even dharma, I mean, simple karma yoga, even, is not possible if you're under the hold of the raga dvesha. We'll be just fooling ourselves, you know, uh, uh, thinking that we are doing some spiritual practice. But if we are still under the hold of raga dvesha, it makes no sense.
If you observe the whole day and like someone was, I just heard something and he was saying you just note down your thoughts also. And at the end of the day, you analyze your how many negative thoughts you go through whole day. You will be matlab, astonished to see yourself at the end of the day. How the negative thoughts and you get caught up in this raga dvesha, you yourself will be so surprised reading them. So it is whole day we are caught up. As soon as we get up, this raga dvesha starts. Shall I sleep for 5 minutes? Still I can. So this it starts from the day you open your first morning. Like, it is very difficult to. So alert mind, we are still lacking that alert mind, but we are um, trying to practice rather. Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it's a practice. See, people who write diaries at the end of the day or so, or even reflect throughout the day before they go to bed. Reflect upon, how their day was, and offer everything to Ishvara. I think that little reflection will help refine our actions, our attitudes.
Shall I finish this line? Then I think you start with the next. Time is still there. Next shloka you can start. If you need to fulfill various likes and dislikes for your own security and pleasure, and yet want moksha also, that means preparedness, which is maturity or vairagya, is lacking. When vairagya is inadequate, it is very difficult to dedicate all karma to Ishvara because of self-interest. What shall we do about it? If you find that is not possible, that the raga dvesha themselves control you, don't worry. Bhagwan offers an alternative in the next verse. Yeah, you carry on, Dr. Brahmra. I think we can read a few more paragraphs. Or you want to do Manana as you.
Jai Gurudev,
Yeah,
can
I
I
think.
ask one question here?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you were mentioning about the writing the diaries, is it then uh, we are thinking of past, what I did, and if it is some particular incident we are going to introspect, it might be fine, but uh, are we living in the past then? How do you take writing the diary? This
No, it
aspect
is
I was
not.
thinking.
No, it is not. You are not living in the past. You are just trying to make your mind more alert and ponder over your whole activities of the day. It's only for a single day. And that is, I think, a sattvic act, because you are thinking over to improve yourself. You are not there to criticize why I did this. You analyze what thoughts you have, and then you see that where how can this thought could have been checked, like why my thought process was so. Next time when the thought arises, you have a alert mind, and this is the way I looked upon that statement. Yeah.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev Manana and Savita ji. One thing I want to add here: when with awareness you go through your past or your diary or whatever it is, when the awareness is there, you are in the present moment only. You are not getting lost into the past. With awareness, you are just having a full screenplay kind of thing, whatever has happened yesterday or today, whole day. That is not living in the past, but with awareness, just watching the past the whole day. And that helps actually. It's a very good practice. And even planning for the future, when you are totally in the present moment and looking at the future and planning for the future is perfectly okay. Gurudev's the whole diary for 1 year is full. So planning for the future and looking at the past day to day for the diary is perfectly okay, because you are fully aware what you are doing. When you get lost, even in our Sahaj also, no? When you get lost in the thoughts, then only you have to invite the mantra. So I think it is more, the point is more clear. Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, very much clear. Thank you so much.
I think we can, instead of going to the next verse, we can do a bit of Manana before we close. Krishna, Bhagwan is giving solutions to different mindsets over here. If you realize, he starts off with Akshara Brahma, people who are doing Nirguna Brahma Upasana. He says, leave them alone. They're not comparable to anyone because they're jnanis. It is as good as they have reached me. They are set apart. And then he says, among the karma yogis who are doing between Kevala karma yogis and those who are doing Saguna Brahma Upasana, the Saguna Brahma Upasakas, karma yogis are Yuktatmas. They are Uttama. They are the better ones, or they are the best. With respect to when you compare Kevala karma yogi to those who are doing Saguna Brahma Upasana. Karma yogis are performing Saguna Brahma Upasana. And then he goes on to give options, alternatives. He says, if you're not able to meditate, then do Abhyasa. Abhyasa will help you. The Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa will help you develop the Dharana Shakti in order to sit for meditation. If that is also not possible, you're not able to do Ashtanga Yoga, then at least live the life of a Karma Yogi. And there, very beautifully, he describes the three aspects of how you live a life of Karma Yogi. Ishwararpana Buddhi. What is that Ishwararpana Buddhi? It is either Ishwarartham, where you consider the whole creation as Ishvara and whatever you're doing is as an act of devotion, or you consider him as the Dharmadhyaksha, the Nimitta Karana for the whole creation, and you conform to Dharma. Or the third aspect of living a life of a Karma Yogi is to consider that it is not you who is doing it, it is Ishvara who is doing it. It's his vibhuti that is making me talk. It is his vibhuti that is making the whole aspect of whatever is happening, even this Manana session. It's his vibhuti that is happening. Then what happens is your ahankara gets slowly dissolved. You're sublimating your ahankara there. And then he goes on to so beautifully explain, Swamiji, as to how when we live a life of dharma, dharmo rakshati rakshita, that paragraph was so profound. What is it that is protected? Your inner shanti. It is so beautiful. Gurudev, I'm just reminded of how Gurudev set such a beautiful example. In the light of WCF, this example keeps coming back to me, this incident where so much of preparation was done over the last few months, several months. And then suddenly the press comes and asks the question, there is going to be a government shutdown. Where are you going to do? If it was anybody else, they would be so flustered, right? Gurudev being who he is, this happened even before the WCF in 2016. The Yamuna tribunal and everything. It became very messy towards the end. But he kept his cool. Same thing over here. He said, no, inner peace was there. He knew it was going to happen. But for the sake of satisfying the press, he said, yes, we have an alternate plan B. And internally, he told all the devotees, he said, no, it is going to happen here. So that inner shanti is what you get when you conform to dharma. And that is what Gurudev was mentioning. He says that is the power of sattva. When you are in that high voltage energy, high sattva, your attention, you just put your attention on what you intend to do and it will manifest. So when we live a life conforming to dharma, you are slowly sublimating your raga dveshas. It is not, you're not doing things to satisfy yourself or personal needs or your likes and dislikes. So then that vairagya happens. Without vairagya, there is no way you can meditate. Which is why at the seat of meditation, we tell ourselves those three important things. No? I want nothing, I do nothing, and I am nothing. Unless you bring yourself to that state of dispassion, you may be sitting there for 20 minutes, but true meditation doesn't happen. And then in the next verse, he gives another alternative. Even if you're not able to give up your raga dveshas, you're not able to conform to dharma completely, your raga dveshas are coming into your actions, then offer the results of your actions to Ishvara. We'll see that tomorrow, I think. Anyone wants to share anything, please do before we close.
So he doesn't want us to feel guilty about it, isn't it? Because even Guruji says that don't have the guilt about it. If you have done something wrong, that's in the past.
Yeah, which is true.
And this Saguna Brahma Upasana, where you had said seeing Ishvara in everything. And I was just thinking, when we go to our basic course, the first thing we say is, I belong to you. So seeing myself in everybody, that belongingness. So I mean, our course starts with that, seeing me in everybody.
That is true.
Also, this suppression part which we read, it is also so important that we don't suppress the emotions or any raga dvesha inside. Like, sometimes we do it outwardly, like we read in Karma Yoga, no, that shloka, mithyachari. I don't remember the shloka, but that mithyachari is that who is pretentious, who says that he has forgiven, but from the inner heart he hasn't forgiven. Then that would be called a mithyachari. So it is from the right. You don't have to suppress from within you. It should be spontaneous and by your heart. This was like, for me it was a very knowledgeable point, that you not have to suppress forcibly. You have to just be in that mature state, and then yeah.
Hari Om. At the same time, I also would like to add, like for children, how important it is in the childhood. Like in today's world, if you see the families, they are living as a nuclear family, and they pamper their children to the extent that everything, whatever they like, they want to give. And the same child, when they grow big, they they continue with the same attitude, like wanting this thing as a kid and wanting the thing as an adult. So Swamiji has beautifully given an example where a child's anger is suppressed in the childhood, and gradually he understands that it is beneficial to him. When he grows older, elder, he understands that that anger was not good. So with a practice, he is able to, although he has to suppress when he is a kid, but then he realizes.
So this is the feeling of contentment which develops when you suppress from the childhood. That contentment feeling comes, and it is more in the like in the middle or the lower people, the or like because they do not have much of things available, or financially they are not very good, so that contentment comes that I cannot have this, then they have that feeling of this contentment that I cannot have that. Maybe that is the reason, or uh, lack, because of lackness, because of affordability, they cannot afford, so that contentment comes. And in the higher society, everything is accessible easily, so the contentment feeling would come with difficulty, I think, because that is why more of depressions are in the higher society rather than in the lower socioeconomic strata. I was thinking this way also.
Shall we close here today and we'll catch up tomorrow? We'll do 11, verse number 11. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.